Welcome to the Lew Perspective. I'm Jon. Today, Harold is out. He's on vacation, but we have a special guest with us today.
And
He's my dad.
yeah, I'm here. I'm his dad, Les Lew. Just a substitute. I practiced that a lot.
Oh, yeah, teacher.
Teacher, yeah.
Oh, so we got my dad on today. We thought it was pretty appropriate too with Father's Day just passed. So my father is on right now, and yeah, we'll talk through a few things.
Okay.
Fathers
And Father's Day.
Father's Day, and
Hi.
maybe some other stuff. What do you have for your father?
My father. Well, first of all, I want to thank John's family for treating us to a nice lunch for Father's Day, right? Yeah, we had a good one.
Good lunch.
Good lunch. And my father is kind of interesting guy. His name is Sin, like S-I-N-N.
Wait,
T-I.
T.I. was his middle name?
Yep.
I only know it was T.
It's actually T-I. And he just, shortened it to T. Lew. So he was kind of an interesting little fella. He was a hard worker, smart. He very smart. I think some of that passed on to my my son too. My son is smart because he's smart enough. He's able to do his work and smartly. Anyway, briefly, my dad went through basic training 3 times during the Second World War. You go, wow, how come?
Yeah, why?
Because he was tested.
Yeah.
And every time they looked at his scores, they said, hey, you're going to go into this program.
So, like, when you say tested, like, he overachieved on his test.
He was a high achiever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they put him in different programs.
Yeah.
And he went to the University of South Dakota in one of the programs. Yep.
Oh, okay.
He told me he had basic training in Florida at a hotel. That was his bunk.
Wow.
His room. So, that's pretty cool. And finally, he was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
And he was a bombardier. And so he had the chance to work with the Norton bomb site, which is something new and top secret in those days during World War II. But fortunately, he never got to go to combat because he was in training in New Mexico, dropping bombs in the desert, practicing. And the war ended. So that was that.
Well, that's good.
It is.
And then from New Mexico, he got out. How long was he in the Air Force for then?
Oh, I imagine for about 3 years or more.
Oh.
Yeah, because, the war was going on. There was no time limit where you could get out. You're signed up for the long term.
Okay, but then after the war ended, he stopped his training. Honorably, is it
Honorable discharge. He was a lieutenant because he was an officer because, that's what those guys were. Yeah, it's good. No, he was just a second lieutenant, which is the lowest officer, but because he was always in training. So anyhow, he ended up meeting my mom.
Wait, in New Mexico?
No, in El Paso, because of his. He was a godson of a woman whose last name was Chew, C-H-E-W, and that's my mom's maiden name. So they happened to go to a dinner that was invited for the family, and my godmother said, "You're coming along with me, Sin. Even though you're a Lew, you're going to go and meet the Chews." Yeah. And so that's how it happened.
He was out of the military.
Out of the military. He must have been around 24, 25, around there. And so that was an interesting story. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, you heard about
it. What you think about the, you hear about different kind of people serving in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he was a Chinese guy.
Yes.
Serving in the military.
Yeah.
He was, exceptionally smart.
Yes, right.
Training, bombardier, honorable discharge.
Yep.
I mean, that's just.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only advice he gave me when it was my turn to go, because I was on a college deferment during the Vietnam War time. He kept telling me, because we hear stories about, hey, you can go to Canada and get out of the draft. But he told me, son, you're gonna serve if you're called on.
Oh, okay.
And I said, well, Dad, once I finish college, they're gonna call on me, because that was the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're deferred until you graduate, and then they yanked you into the military.
Yeah.
No.
So you didn't have a choice.
No choice.
Going
Well, no, there was a choice.
You could have gone. You could have gone to Canada. Is that what your choice was?
No, you could have got married.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the other one was get married. Nice.
You don't have to go?
That's right. At that time.
Oh, wow.
And I said, you're crazy. I'm not going to get married. I'm too young. That's what I said. I said, I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to Canada.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to the Army.
So you went to the Army.
Yep, I did.
So you went to the Army. But you didn't go into war either.
No, I was almost went to war. Almost went to war. I was serving time in different bases here in the States.
Yeah.
And finally, in like 1972, I got the call to go to Vietnam. And Nixon was the president. President Nixon was having all sorts of problems about the Vietnam War. You know, there was protest and everything. And finally, he came up with a deal. And luckily, I was here in the States for my 30-day leave period before they said, oh, son, you got to get everything together just in case, because, they're shooting bullets over there, So during that time, Nixon said, we got a deal. We're not sending anybody else going to Vietnam. So I ended up going to Germany. So I spent 16 months in Germany before I got out of the service in 73. How's that?
Yeah.
Well, very fortunate. Very fortunate.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of people that didn't work fortunate.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yep. That's a story about a little bit about me and about my dad. How about you?
Oh, my dad?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, well, anyway.
Goodness, this guy. Oh, man. I don't remember a lot when I was younger. I remember you had the video store for some reason.
Yeah, it was crazy. No, a couple of years. It was hard. In Fontana, for Sierra.
Yeah, I know, because I think I go there now for to get tacos or something. I'm like,
Yeah, there's a Taco Bell over there too. No, not Taco Bell. Del Taco.
oh, yeah,
There's a Del Taco there on the corner.
here, right?
Yeah.
Right across from that Kaiser, right? Was that it?
Yes.
I know that's familiar, because I remember that place.
Yeah.
That was an interesting.
Eh.
I remember that. I remember your green. Well, it was a blue Mazda 626.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that car.
Yeah.
That was an awesome car.
Yeah.
I still remember the license plate number.
Really?
24.
Wow.
The license plate number.
Pretty smart guy.
That car is long gone.
Of course.
And then he painted it green.
Yes.
That was yeah.
Yeah.
We had that car forever.
We did, because it was one of those cars that lasts forever. Not like today, but
No, manual transmission.
yeah.
The gray rubber boot. I remember that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I would sit in the driver's seat and pretend to shift.
Just like your son.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he came out. Yeah, your youngest went out with me into the Camaro.
Oh.
And he loved it.
Yeah.
Just like you.
Yeah.
He sat there and he wanted to play with all the stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
I remember that, and then just I remember you working a lot.
Yeah.
I remember when you were at the VA for some reason. I know you talked about that a lot when you worked there in LA.
Yeah.
So you were gone a lot.
It was a long
drive.
long drive.
Yeah, from where we were living in West Covina
Yeah.
to LA. It was a long drive. Even back then, with less traffic, it was still
a long drive.
a long drive.
Yeah.
And then you became a teacher,
Right.
and that's when we moved into Ontario or something.
Yes.
And then you went the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had that funky schedule because you're on year round.
Exactly.
No one knew about at that time.
Right.
It's like normal for California.
Yeah.
I think California is like the only state that. Is it the only state that does that? 'Cause
Well, there was too many students and not enough rooms.
Yeah.
And that's why year round.
Yeah. Round and rolling around.
Year round school. Yeah.
Year round school. Maybe it's a California thing, but yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, because when I talk about it with other like coworkers out of state, they're like, "What does that mean?"
Yeah, yeah,
Traditional.
yeah.
But you did that for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you taught for what?
1 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
21 years.
yeah,
And then I remember your retirement is actually what I remember a lot of because I was older at that time.
yeah.
I was out of, I think I was already working, barely working. I think I was maybe 2 or 3 years out of college, maybe longer, maybe 3 or 4 years. Anyway, but yeah, we went to your retirement party
Yes.
at that, was it house? Somebody's house?
Yeah. Carrie's house. Carrie was a like a fifth grade.
Was she retiring too?
Fifth grade. No, he was
Was there
no.
people retiring or was it just for you? I can't remember.
Well, there was me and a few others that
Others
were retiring, so we went to his
You
house.
had a house. Yeah, you had a house party. But yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then your coworkers, right, were talking about you. I remember that.
Hmm.
They said how you're
Yeah.
such a great person.
Wow.
Because you don't realize about you're talking.
Yeah.
This is my dad.
That's right.
You're like what?
He did that. I didn't know that.
Like yeah, like people really like him and they think he's funny and
Yeah.
so you don't realize it right when you're
Yeah.
just in that environment, until you afterward you hear from different people. Different things. So that's nice. That was nice to hear.
Yeah. It was good. It was good.
And then I just always remember, you kind of did whatever you needed to do for us. We had two sisters who went to private school. I know that wasn't cheap.
Oh, that was a your mom
Yeah.
decided this is where they're going to go. And I said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know how much it costs?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's three of them. There's not just one. And then there's after school,
Yep.
you have to pay for that too.
Yeah.
So it was not, it was not easy. In those days, people didn't make that much money,
Yeah.
but still you had to pay for the daycare. But daycare, of course, it's not like today's.
It's not as
So much more expensive today, but it still was a cost.
yeah, a big cost. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember just, kind of you guys provided for us, as much as you could.
Yeah.
I don't think I complained that much.
No, you
I
didn't.
don't remember complaining.
No.
That's just me. But yeah, you don't realize these things until you're older.
Yeah.
The sacrifices that parents, have to make to, just to raise you and
Yeah.
raise you in a way that they want to,
Yeah.
that they think is right. So
Yeah.
you don't realize that until
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, now we have to pay for daycare. Now we have,
Yes.
Now
Now you see.
we say no, we're going to public school because it's free.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
to spend tens of thousands potentially
Yes.
a year
Yeah.
plus books plus whatever. So I think there was a lot of sacrifices that you made.
Yeah. And
that you
then.
don't realize. That
Yeah.
I don't realize until I'm
Yeah.
older. Right?
Yeah. And then I guess the one other thing that your mom and I decided was we're going to provide transportation for you when you go to college. You got a new
New car.
brand new car.
So my sisters too. They
Well, no.
Oh.
Michelle got a used car first.
Right.
You got a new car. Aubrey got a new car.
Yeah.
And then
one car.
yes, and we got another. I know. And then we got another new car.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hondas, right?
Yes.
And they were really nice.
Nice cars.
And then Michelle's car had some problems, so we got her a new car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Aubrey, she had a little accident with her car, but we fixed it, and then that was it. But it was good, and of course my children paid their way through college. They got loans and everything. I mean,
Loans.
yeah, because that's the way we could do it.
That's it.
That's
Well, we knew going into college what we had to do to get.
yeah.
Well, one, we knew we were going to college.
Uh-huh.
That was
Your mom said you're going to college.
we had no choice.
Yeah.
So we got into college. Well, I got into Riverside, UC Riverside.
Uh-huh.
And I know my sisters went to community college before, right? And then
Right.
went into the UC, right? Or UC Cal. Which one was it? UC Riverside.
Okay. So your Michelle went to same as your school,
Riverside, yes.
and then Aubrey went to Cal State Fullerton.
Oh, Fullerton. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
And-
so we knew going into it though, like
yeah.
so.
But community college for the girls was just fine.
Yeah.
It was very, very good. They enjoyed it. They saved money, like
A lot of money.
yeah, they did. They did.
I mean, Riverside wasn't that expensive, but it was like I think at the end it was close to 30,000.
Yeah. Well,
4 years. That's not that bad now.
no, not
It's like
now.
1 year now.
Yeah, that's right.
So
That's right.
whatever. We knew we had to do that going into it.
Yeah.
So,
but you did well.
yeah, I mean, we all graduated. Right?
Yes, you did.
All
and then
three
you,
of us graduated.
yes.
We all have our bachelor's degree, and we're using it kind of. Yeah.
Well, you got your bachelor's. Aubrey got her master's.
Oh yeah, master's.
And then Michelle got her
She's
PhD.
a doctor. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So she's the most educated.
yes.
Right? Smartest also.
Well, I think all my children are smart. I mean, that's the whole idea. Your mom and I just said, talking about our children, we said, well, we want them to be educated and we want them to have decent jobs, and so they can take care of their family, however, whatever their family is, and have a decent retirement. So I think that our goal has been met as far as we can tell.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so. So that's how it goes. And
No.
Father's Day and Mother's Day is just icing on the cake every year. We remember our fathers, and and that's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And then our mothers too, our Mother's Day.
Of course. Yeah.
And when you get old like me and you get retired,
Yeah.
well, I'm really old. I don't know. Yeah, well, but not like me. Yeah, I'm in my 70s, so getting close to 80. But anyway, so retired 13 years ago from
It's been that long.
2013. No, wait, 12 years? 2013. 2013 is when we retired.
Is this year?
Yeah, 12 years.
Around this? No, what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
What are you
So-
doing in your retirement?
In retirement, of course, I used to call my dad when he retired. I said, well, you're the head of the Worldwide, WWRA,
What's that?
Worldwide Retirement Association. That's what I told him. You're retired, and remember when you get this old age, there's that word, no, the real word is tired.
Yeah.
You get tired, you got to take a nap once in a while. Yeah.
Relaxing and-
Yeah. It's not easy, as a retired person. The only thing is you got to keep moving.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing, is we kept moving and exercising and walking and eating a little bit better, except on vacations.
Except on vacations, which you have plenty of vacations.
Yeah. Hey, do we want to say something about vacations?
Yeah. What? Tell us about your latest vacation.
Yeah, latest vacation. Well, so we like cruises, and the reason we like cruises is, first, you're there for a while.
Yeah.
Your hotel room is there. You don't have to worry about that. The food is provided, entertainment is provided, and the only thing that you had to do on a cruise is, if you go on a shore excursion, you can pick out the one you want and pay for that and enjoy yourself, and you meet a lot of different people, and the restaurants are really good. And we picked Princess Cruise because cruise line because they're out of LA.
Okay, so you can sail directly out of LA.
Out of LA, we don't have to fly.
They go to
There are lots of places.
almost.
Yes, they do. But in LA, they go to Mexico and to Hawaii, and then some are longer. They go to New Zealand and Australia. Yeah, out of the LA area. It's just a longer trip. So anyway, the last cruise we were on, just recent, which was in the like the 17th of May, I found a cruise that went from LA through the Panama Canal to all the way to New York.
And where did you stop? You stopped. Wait, did you stop in Mexico?
Yes, we stopped in different ports in Mexico. We stopped in Costa Rica.
Oh, you did Costa Rica.
Yeah, we stopped in Aruba after the Panama Canal.
Yeah, that's in the Caribbean.
In the Caribbean, and then straight to New York from there. And this, it was really a nice cruise. We ate so well, it's just awful. I mean, like Las Vegas buffet, many hours of the day.
Did y'all move around? Did you guys like walk?
Yes, we did, but we
You didn't
didn't.
work out, but you probably just.
Oh no, we did
did?
work out a little bit. Yeah, we did like four times or so
At the gym.
at the gym, and in our room we brought our bands
Okay.
to work out.
So you had something to do.
Yes, we have to work out a little bit because you eat so much.
Yeah.
And then the restaurants that they have on the cruise ship are really fantastic. The ones that are included in the cruise, fancy restaurants, like, I mean, fancy. You sit there and they put out the silverware.
Do you have to dress up?
No,
No.
not really. However, they had some nights that you did dress up for photographs.
Oh.
So they had photo opportunities, and they tell you, okay,
You got to bring a jacket.
or wear some good clothes.
Shirt,
Yeah.
like that.
So we had about three of them, special nights where you dress up and they took pictures. Of course, they're trying to sell you the picture. Yeah.
That's why we took a picture.
So, but you know how your mom is. She said, well, okay. So we had a special, photo shoot with a person named Tina and, on the ship. And she took us to different places and it took a couple of hours to do a photo shoot. And I'll show you those pictures later, son. We bought
Done that before.
we have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because those are special things, you know, when it's really,
Some memorialized and things to remember.
oh yeah, it's really good. I like the sound of the ocean. We get a balcony. That's what you should get if you go on a cruise ship.
Does it have like a door or patio?
Patio,
Sit out there.
couple of chairs, a table, and you sit out there and you listen to the sound of the water as the ship is cruising along.
Is it a boat? Is it like one of those huge?
No, it's not a huge boat because it only fit about 2,000.
Is that small? I don't know.
Small.
That's small.
Yeah, well, the ship that we were on last year in the Caribbean, Sun Princess,
Okay.
4,000 plus,
Okay.
double.
Plus.
So you know it's a big ship. Yeah.
It's kind of huge.
Smaller ships is, it's not as many people, but not as much room. Yeah, 2,000. Tell me about it. It's still
Was it packed?
it was full.
Really?
It was.
Are they all like older people? He's like, you guys.
Yes, on Princess is generally having more older people.
Okay.
And so we met a lot of old people and not very many young people with kids. There were some grandparents that had their grandchildren.
Oh, really?
But a few.
Long cruise.
That's a lot. Well, 18 days.
To have your grandchildren there?
Yeah, I know it. And then these are old people taking their,
No.
and these are kids that are under 10. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But maybe their parents were there too. So,
If they were.
Yeah, they were babysitting and then they give them back. Yeah. But anyway, it's a older, for older adults. Yeah, older crowd. And then if you take it during the off time, I guess the middle of May, maybe school is out, maybe not quite.
Yeah.
Well, there's
less
kids.
Summer.
The summer is different.
June, July, August.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Families with the younger kids.
Yeah.
Different vibe. So you went through Costa Rica, you stopped in Costa Rica, went through the Panama Canal. How was the Panama Canal?
Beautiful. I mean, it's just amazing how they did this back in 1914. We got a little bit of the history. Thousands of people died because of malaria.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the French are the first ones that started working on the canal in the 1890s or 1880s, long time ago. And then the Americans took over. And there was a doctor that figured out how to combat the mosquito problem, which has caused the malaria. Yeah. Nobody wanted to work there because you go there, you get stung, you die. So they said, forget it. And then when they figured that out, then they finally finished the canal in 1914.
It's been operating for over 100 years.
It has. And it operates on locks. I mean, where a ship actually goes in and goes either up or down. It goes so from the Pacific side it went down. It goes down and it goes into a man-made lake. The man-made lake, because the area that we're talking about in Panama was full of mountainous terrain.
Yeah.
It was not really hospitable
Yeah.
for ships. So they had to figure out, hey, okay, what are we going to do? Well, there's a river that came through and they dammed it up and then they let water out.
Got it.
4 years, they finally filled this large lake, 30 miles or so. Oh, yeah.
Big.
Huge lake.
Think of the cargo ships and stuff come through. Right?
Yeah.
Ships.
Big ships.
Yeah.
And they tried to have railroads in the beginning. They said, well, this other plan is really hard to do, right? How are we going to do that? You got to have water or something to put ships through. So they had ships on the Atlantic, ships on the Pacific, and they have a railroad line. They had to load it on cars. And then you had to come back to the other side and reload it onto the ship.
Yeah. That's a pain.
Yep. So,
They figured it out.
yep. And that's how they figured the whole idea of Panama Canal. And that's been working good. It costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. $9,000 for our cruise ship. 39,000.
Just the pass through.
Just the pass through.
Wow. Just that one time going through 139,000.
Saves you 21 days. Went around to South America.
Yeah.
Tip us. So,
That's a long time.
that's a long time. Costs you money. And then the weather might not be so good. Might delay you.
Yeah. Cutting through.
It is worth cutting through because people already figured it out. Especially these big cargo ships. And now our ship was small, so we got to go through the original lock.
Oh.
And then they built a bigger lock for the super containers.
Bigger ships.
Bigger ships. Oh, yeah. Now those go through along with big cruise ships.
Yeah. Okay.
That was it. Was
Up in the Caribbean. You say that you went to Aruba.
We stayed there. Just the Aruba.
That's it. Just Aruba, and then you went up.
Oh, then we went up 4 days.
Did you go in 4 days to go up to New York?
Yep. 4 sea days.
4 sea days. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you didn't stop anywhere else on the U.S. side?
Nope.
You just went right from Aruba to New York.
Right. And actually this particular cruise is what they call a repositioning cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Because
they're moving their ship somewhere.
They're moving it. And they're going through Canada and Iceland, Greenland. Yeah, they're going to be there.
They're picking up people in New York to go up to the...
And they're going to be there for a while.
Oh.
They're not coming right back.
Yeah.
So later on, after the hurricane season, they're going to go back and reposition, going from New York and come back to L.A. And then they're
opposite.
Yeah. And then they'll go to Mexico or to Alaska, one of those.
Oh, yeah, because they go all the way up.
Yeah.
Once they stop in LA.
Yeah. It depends on their scheduling. Yeah, that's what's going on. Tell me about your vacation. You had a little bit. Yeah. Give us a blurb.
Yeah, we are at in Kauai. This time we've never been to Kauai. The kids we've taken them to Oahu. Back in 21, I think we went to Oahu. So we went with Harold and Arona and Jenny. So it was nice. The kids loved it. It's the Garden Island, just green. It looked like it's just all tropical. It just looked
a lot of people.
No,
it's just a resort.
So it's. I think it's one of the. I think if I read it right, I think there's about 68,000 people that live on the island. So it's like the third. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Out of the main islands, Oahu, Hawaii, and Maui. Maybe Hawaii has less people. I don't know. Anyway, it's just beautiful. Just garden, green. The beaches were just pristine. We went down to the north. We went to the North Shore. We went down to the south side, the east side. It was great. The kids loved it. All we did is go to beaches.
Food
was great. Oh, best sushi we've ever had. Yeah.
Wow.
Best sushi we've ever had at a sushi restaurant there. So fresh, so good. All the sushi's good in Hawaii, but that one, it was really memorable.
Wow.
So we loved it. Good. Yeah. The food was great. We had, we did the sushi thing. The kids like seafood, so they love their calamari and their fish and all that stuff. So they
wow.
But then, we were over there for a week. We just stayed at the resort. We didn't have any plans. We just hit every beach that we could hit. We hit So all the famous beaches up there,
Mm.
and Hanalei, and all those we were at. And every day we would do at least one beach.
Wow.
So we did 5 or 6 different beaches, and then we stayed on. We stayed at a resort that wasn't like right on the beach, but you could walk. I mean, it was less than a 5 minute walk to the beach.
Oh, that's pretty close.
It's really close. And they had a little lagoon, so it
Ah.
was really calm, and the waves weren't crashing or anything like that. It was really calm. And every morning you see the sunrise,
Ah.
which was really nice. So yeah, no, it was beautiful. Seeing time, kids loved it. I mean, they said they liked it better than Costa Rica.
Oh,
Which
that's
was-
interesting.
Yeah, which was crazy because in Costa Rica we went with three different families,
Uh-huh.
2 different families, so they had their friends there. But they said that this was better. I think it's just because they're older. They were
Yeah.
But yeah, they had fun. Oh, they.
Oh, I'm glad they did. Yeah.
I mean, they love this kind of stuff. I remember too. Vacations for us as children too, right? I think I
Mhm.
talked about this before. Is a lot of driving. We did a lot of the
Yep.
driving up the coast and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Flying everywhere. I don't remember when did we fly? When was our first flight? Maybe it was no. Even you drove to Texas too, right?
Yes.
We would drive to Texas.
Yes, we would. We would drive to Texas
We would
when
drive-
you were younger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
And we would go to San Diego sometimes.
San Diego.
Yeah.
We do the missions thing
Yeah,
in San
yes.
Francisco.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't remember if we ever took flights. China was China our first flight.
Probably. I think so.
I think
And that was, that was international. Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
but anyway, those the good old times.
Yes, it was.
So, but thanks for being on. It was great having you.
It was wonderful
Fun
talking.
about Father's Day and
Yeah,
and just vacation and how life is. So
Mhm.
maybe we'll definitely have you back.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, it will be.
But hey, as always, we end with kindness. I know there's a lot going on, and especially in the U.S. today.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that a lot of people demonstrated peace, kindness, things like that these past couple of weekends, where maybe that they had restraint where sometimes maybe people don't have. But I think
Sure.
that shows that if we work through kindness, respect, peacefulness, use that, that works too, right?
Absolutely.
Dr. Martin Luther King
Yes.
did
Yes, he did.
protests and stuff like that.
Hmm.
We support it all, and everybody's right to do that.
That's correct.
Stay kind,
And be peaceful.
be peaceful,
Yeah.
and that's it. That's what we want to do. So
Thank you so much for having me.
yeah,
All right.
take care. Bye.
Bye.